Hello everyone, welcome back to another session by K21 Academy. Today our experts trainer will be talking about how you can prepare the data. So let's get into the video.
Let's go with the first domain. And in this domain, what we generally cover in the or what we have in the exam outline, we have about getting data from different data sources. I believe from the those who have joined the first class and those who may join later. But if you will gone through with the previous videos, you have seen that how we will be able to use different type of data sources, whether it was a Excel based file or SQL server, or maybe it is your not only the SQL server, but it is your, for example, say no SQL database like Cosmos DB and other operations as well, how we will be able to use them. Azure analysis services and lots of things we have covered as in data sources as well. We also go for profiling the data there and will clean, transform and load the data. These are the three sections which has been covered. Now, for the first section, right, get data from different data sources. As you know, that Power BI is a very effective language or a software, reporting software, which is very frequently used for the purpose of getting the data from the different type of data sources. Like we can have a sales data, which is in a form of SQL Server, or I have HR data from Microsoft Excel, warehouse app from Cosmos DB, finance with Azure Analysis Server Cubes, sales goals, SharePoint as well, Power Query is there. And then I can use the Microsoft Power BI, which is my reporting software. And with the help of that reporting software, you will be able to get your Power BI approach right now. That has been done to this particular part. Now you can also be able to get this data from different type of data sources. And how we generally do that? To do that, we can retrieve data by using the get data option. In the get data options, as you can see, I have multiple options which are there. You can retrieve data from a different variety of data sources like an Excel, relational database, NoSQL. We'll also learn how to improve performance while retrieving the data. So for example, if you will go with a simple sample, let me open the Power BI desktop software. So within this software, we have different categories of getting the data. You can do one thing, go to get data, more. Now, why I click more, despite of I have all these options there. Now at this point, you can see I have different type of data operations. Like I can go for a file data where I can use an Excel workbook, CSV file, XML file, JSON, folders, PDF, Parquet. Parquet is basically used with your big data approaches, and then SharePoint folder. We do have the databases as well, where we have SQL Server database, Access database, SSAS database, Oracle database, IBM DB2 database, IBM Informix database. Then these are the different softwares like Impala, Vertica, Space, Actian, AT Sales or at scales, Cubes, BI Connector, Data Virtuality, LDW, and lots of different type of databases are there. These are the Power Platform service where we have Power BI dataset, Power BI data flows, common data services, Dataverse, and then we do have the Power Platform services. These are the Azure locations where we do have the Azure data, SQL database, Synapse Analytics, Azure Analysis Services databases, Azure database for Postgres, Azure Blob Storage, Azure Table Storage, Azure Cosmos DB, and I have a list of different type of databases which are already been there. Plus we have discussed about the online services. So suppose if you want to go with some online services, which is also known as software as a service, from that location you will be able to get the data as well. And then others are also there, like we do have OData, Active Directory, Exchange, Hadoop file system, Spark, Hive, R, Script, Python, ODBC, OLADB, and then lots of options you will be able to find out. So I do have a wide range of data sources which I will be able to use to read the data. And then later on, first initially I put the data in its raw format, and then later on I will be able to do the necessary modification. I can transform the data. I can clean the data, right? And I will be able to utilize that data for this transformation and cleaning purpose as well. Now, apart from that, what type of question you generally get? This is one of the sample exam question. See the question. Select all the possible data sources that are possible to connect with through the get data option in the Power BI desktop. So you have four options are there. So what do you think will be the correct answer for this? Think and try to answer. Let's see. Just a trial. Yeah, let's see. I know maybe you may give a right answer, you may give a wrong answer. That's not a big thing. But yes, you need to give the answer. Now come on, give a try. So what do you think? All is okay if I will give you the option all of the above. I just wanted you to choose the nearest one. What do you think? Nearest one, only one option. I don't have all of the above. Suppose if I need to choose from these four options, which one will be the most easiest way to do that? Well, the correct answer to this question is it's B. CSV Excel files stored the questions and then other operations. Awesome. See, you all are already started with the part and then you all are actually going to think about it. Now, if you will give a look on that, you can easily find out that how these things are going to be, how we will be able to go with these steps and so on. Awesome. So here is the success to those who just given the B answer, but I cannot say that. This is a successful attempt for those as well who just given D as an answer. So that's awesome. Now moving further, these are the navigation. You can navigate to K21 portal, preparing data for Power BI, and then here you will get all the questions, or they have given you the direct link as well, through which you will be able to do the practice of these questions easily. And then you can try some practice questions. I'm also going to take a practice session for you. I mean to say practice question session for you for at least 30 minutes or maybe 15 minutes. Whatever I feel like, we'll talk about that accordingly. Okay, now, so that was the first domain, domain 1.1. The second domain was about the profiling data. Okay, can anyone tell me why we profile the data? What is the data profiling capability we have? If any one of you remember, what is the data profiling capability? Why we have used it? To know the description of the data, to check for the quality of that data, outlines and other operations that needs to be checked right now. Well, please understand at this point, before whenever you are going to begin the examining the data in Power Query, you need to first think about the underlying structures. This is just a data structure that we all are using, where I have multiple collections or multiple ribbons. Example data structure and ribbon bars are also there, which is definitely helpful for you to go with that. And if you will find out, I have three different type of ribbons here: one, two, and three. The first ribbon is simply known as your report tab, which we generally use for the reporting purposes, right? We can go for the data with the, we can go for the this option as well. We call them model view. Not only that, but we can also be able to go for different type of, if you want to do any editing or anything like that, for doing that editing also I can use other type of tabs as well, which can be useful for us to get the outcome from there. For example, if you will go for transform data, and when you will click on this transform data, you do have different type of tabs over there, like transform, add column, view, tools. In the view you will find your column profiling. So now when you will go with this part right now, right, when you will go with this part right now, we have these different type of tabs. Like we can have the model tab, where we can edit specific column and table properties by selecting a table or a column. I can transform the data as well, where I can transform the data, which takes you to the Power Query editor. See that? This is the original Power BI structure, right? And inside that, I do have insert modeling, right? You can go to the model tab. So just to show you that, okay, let me pick this up. I hope you all are well versed with these graph, because we both have worked together on that. Yeah, so first of all, we do have the model tab. When you will go to the model tab, you can edit specific column and table properties by selecting a table or column. Okay, can you see I have lots of tables on the right side? I may don't want all the tables to be there. I want only, it should not show me dim customer, right? It should not show me dim promotion. And I think that's okay. That's okay. Just these two tables, I don't need it. Now, when I will go to the report view, there you will only find those different data tables which I have selected as an data for me. Plus, we can have this transform data button, which is just right here. Within this transform data, you can be able to go for transform data, data source settings, or you can be able to edit the parameters. If you have created the parameters, you will be able to edit the parameters. Now, the best part is that when you click on this transform data button, right, it will take you to the Power Query editor. Now here we will be able to manage, create, edit, and delete relationship between different tables as well. Okay, this is just an example for you to show that you want to manage anything, you can be manage it from here. These all are my different type of data sources which are actually be used while going with your data. Some different tabs and transformation is everything is already available. When you will go to this view, there you will find the column distribution or column profiling or column quality. These all are the different options that you can find out, and they all are part of your profiling. With the help of that, you will be able to get the nuances of the data, that what all are the nuances of the data. Well, followed with that, I have this manage relationship. This manage relationship is always be available on this page, on this node. And how you can get that? If you will go to the model, there you will find the manage relationship as well. So we can manage, create, edit, and delete relationship between the different tables which are already been there. And then you can go back to the report model as well. Plus, we have discussed about the data anomalies and outliers within your data. We can determine what those anomalies are, can help you identify what the normal distribution of your data looks like, and whether specific data points exist that you need to investigate or not. And Power Query Editor give you all the details, whether it is a column profiling, column distribution, column quality. You can be able to get this thing done. You can go to view, and I have already shown you where you can find out. See, that's what I was discussing about. So now at this time, I do have the column quality and column distribution, which are shown in the graphs above. The columns of data, these are some of the options. Column quality shows you the percentage of the data that is valid, in error, and empty. And it is an ideal situation where you want 100% of the data to be valid. Column profile give you a more in-depth look into the statistics within the columns for the first 1000 rows of data as well. So these all are my some factors which are definitely going to help you out for managing this information or managing this data as well, right? So these are some of the factors that you will be able to find out while going with your data operations as well. And that's how you will be able to capture the respective information, and then you will be able to read the respective information from there. When I'm going to work with this data operations there, at this time, you will be able to find out the other options to cope up with this part. Now, at this time, I can go for column profiling, which will give you a more in-depth look into the data that you are already going to work with, or into the statistics within the columns for the first 1000 rows. You will be able to get them, right, whenever you are going to work with your data right now. Plus, it's not only about that. We can also be able to go with few more options which are already there. So these are some column profiling and column management are some of the strategies which you will be able to use for getting the quality of your data, getting the nuances of the data. Nuances here, nuance means the detailed information about the data, right? This is the term that has been used in Power BI when you are going to work with the Power BI operations there. That's where you will be able to find it out. Now, at this point of time, if you will go with this option, right, and when you are going to process this detail as well, these are the kind of question that you are going to get. Now, what question is it? Here is the question. For the query open in Power Query Editor, it says that you are interested in finding out the percentage of empty cells. You are finding out the percentage of the cells which are already been there, plus or values in each column as soon as possible. So it says that which of the following data preview option would you select for it? So when you click here, I have four options. Now, can anyone tell me the answer for this question? Take 10 seconds. So the answer for this question is C, column quality, not column profiling. I am talking about getting the percentage of empty cells. Let me show you that. Go to this editor, transform data, view, and say column quality, which will populate the empty values, error values, and then valid values. So that's the correct answers that you can be able to get it from here. Now, at this point, we can go with this. So you can navigate to this. Yeah, the links are already available there. From there, you will be able to do all this practice. And I think these links are already provided into the portal. Now, with this part, we will go to the domain 1.3, where I'm going to clean, transform, and load the data. To go with this part, first of all, I have a question. What is a good practice to focus only on the quantity of the data or the quality of the data, and quantity both? What do you think? When I say what is the best way for the data, is it only to get quality of the data or quantity of the data or both? It means quantity plus quality. Both. Exactly. Because see, if I have a huge amount of data, if I have a huge amount of data, a huge information of data is there, but it's just a quantity. Can I prefer to use any non-qualitative data which doesn't have any quality? Because there it will increase the risk of maybe anything. I don't have exact word for that, but yes, it can also increase the risk for most of these things. So now when I get a situation like that, that's where I require this clean transform and load the data, which is again this feature provided by your Power BI editor. So in the Power BI, we do have the Power Query editor in Power BI desktop, which allows you to shape your imported data the way you want to shape it. You can accomplish actions like renaming columns or tables, changing text to numbers, removing rows, setting the first to as header, and there are many other options are there which you will be able to find out while going with this data operations as well. Plus, not only this, right? We can be able to get this by moving to this transform data by using the transform data option. And with the help of this transform data option, I will be able to provide the respective details related to that. So in Power Query Editor, the data in your selected query displays in the middle of the screen on the left side, and the queries pane list is available within this transform data either from here, or if you will go to your data source, or if you will go to your database that has already been there, you can right click on any of these services and click on this edit query. You will be able to get this thing and you will get your Power Query Editor. So once you are go inside that, you actually get the permissions to modify the data. For example, let's go to dim customer. In the dim customer, I do have some null columns like this title. There is one column named suffix and name style. I want to remove these three columns. I will say remove columns. And if you will see there, I do have some data like marital status or gender. Actually, this marital status, yes, I know mem is married as a single, but again, I want to make it more meaningful. So how I will be able to make it more meaningful? I can right click on it. I can replace the values, and just to make it more readable, I can say M with married, and then I can simply go another, replace values, and then I can go for S with single. I will be able to do that. Same here, gender. I know M is male, F is female, no problem. That's okay. Replace the value. M is for male and F is for female. See? So I am now making my data more readable, more meaningful, so that I can get the proper outcome from there. I can choose what to do and click on close and apply, and then you are good to go with that. This close and apply will update or will apply all the changes that you have done, and then you are going to get your qualitative data with the quantity of the data as well, and then you are going to utilize it for your designing and development purpose as well. So this was just an example for you to show you about the maintaining the quality. Now we can simplify the data structure here. I can because whenever we import the data from the data sources into Power BI, the data remain in its predefined table and column names. So sometimes I may want to modify the column names and other names as well. So I can use a Power Query editor, right? So that I will be able to make changes in name, simplify my data, right? And it's always be a good practice to rename a query, because if you are changing an uncommon or unhelpful query names to names that are used user is more familiar with, that is actually going to make things and life more easy here. Replace value is another option where we can use the replace value feature in Power Query to replace any value with another value in selected column. Do you remember I have did one job over there where I have just replaced my existing file or replaced my existing data or existing content with male, female, married, unmarried? Means these kind of strategies I will be able to use it. And then remove the duplicates. You can remove the duplicates as well if you don't want the remove duplicates. All these features are already available in your query editor window. That's where you will be able to practice it. You can change the column data type as well. How come? It's very easy. When you will go there, now think about a case where, suppose if I want to get this information on the basis of dim date calendar year, or let's see calendar semester. Can you see what calendar semester is right now? Think if I will just click on this calendar semester, it will become another query for me. But this is what I want. No, my requirement is little bit different. Let's see. Suppose I will go for the calendar semester. This is what I want? No, not at all. I want to see on the data on the basis of multiple calendars or a semester. So I can click on that, or maybe let's take it the quarter. See, so I said I will go to this calendar quarter, and I can be able to change the data type from here as well. So for example, I said text. Now, when I'm going to select this calendar quarter, it will show me the calendar quarter one, and then they do have some data related to that. With last inventory count is 19, they are getting all these information as well. And then later on, when you will go, because we have used lots of clauses here, right? So you can be able to check for these clauses as well. And then from that clauses, you can provide the clause related details as well. That's the concept that you must be aware of when we are going to work with our column type. So we can change as required. We can also be able to use advanced editor or advanced editor to modify the M codes. If you want to modify the M codes or machine, M code is basically the M query is a programming language that runs in the background of your Power BI, like this one. If I will go back to my, say, edit query, so now I am just right here, as you can see, by dealing with my data and then the other data related stuff which has been utilized and used for this particular architecture concept as well. Now to do that, I can be able to utilize the other factors or features which are basically part of it. So for example, if I will go for the advanced editor, so let me show you one thing. Do you remember dim customer? Now there are two ways I can replace the value. For example, I can right click on it and I can say rename. So what I did at this time, replaced S with single. I have written something here. When I will go to the advanced editor, you can see that this entry is already there. Check this out. Replace S with single. Now, if you will see, I do have replaced value 3. I want to modify it. I can say replaced F with female, and then I'm going to F with female and then click done. See, so I can do in both the ways, either from the front end or from the back end. I will be able to do the respective modification. Close and apply, and all set till now. Okay, all set from here as well. So you will be able to find the questions for this within the domain 1.3. You can check your module 3, and there you are going to get these questions.
So, guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if in case you missed upon any concept, or if you want to dive deeper about the concepts discussed, then we have something really, really special for you. We have our free class on Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst Certification for Beginners. In this free class, we'll be learning about what is data analyst role, why and who should be learning data analyst, how can companies benefit from data analysis, and why is it so much in demand? You'll be learning about the whole Power BI architecture. You'll be getting hands-on labs, job opportunities and market trends and whatnot. So in order to register to this free class, all you have to do is just log on to k21academy.com/DA10002, and after that you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seats now. Select an event date, your name, enter your email, your phone number, and click on Yes, Save My Seat. Moving ahead, you'll be seeing this kind of URL. So you just have to save it, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in the free class. Till then, keep learning.